Communication Error.
Welcome to the 44th episode of the Communication Error podcast, the community patch notes episode of Does Exclusivity in Video Games Matter? Even though no community notes are going to be in here because we were recording the day after we recorded the initial episode. But whatever, we'll get through it. And to help us through it, we have a very special guest. You may have seen that she is the new addition to the Xbox Drive. Bowsah, welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
So you just joined the Xbox Drive. How did that happen?
Over the holidays, just got a message from Sean. He said, "Hey, can you keep a secret?" Like, yeah, I guess I can keep a secret. Who am I keeping it from? And then he went on to tell me that Court and Matt were leaving the PlayStation Drive and things were shaking up, and asked if I would want to be a host on the Xbox Drive. And I said, all right, let me think about it. Run around the house scared, crazy. Like, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Nice. And so you were like a fan of everything that they did before, and that's how he reached out to you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been pretty active in the community the last couple years, going to Extra Life in New York with them the last few years. Yeah, so I've met Sean in person. So
we should try to tag along this year, Chizzy. We should try to just show up. Let's just show up. Not even tell them. Let's just show up.
Well, you'll be welcome either way.
Well,
yeah.
Well, don't tell. You could keep a secret. Don't tell them. We'll show up. I'm pretty close to New York.
All right, I won't tell the carpool folks. Okay. We'll just tell Lee, who organizes it, so he can make sure there's food for you.
That's what I'm there for. But yeah, no, the stuff that Carpool does is awesome, and the all the new hosts that have joined, like that, it just seems like it's a really good crew over there, and we like them a lot. Like we've talked to, we had Seth on, and we had Locklith on. We've known Sean for a while, so
we want to get Sean on. He's just so busy.
Yeah, he's hard to pin down.
Yeah. But so how many episodes have you recorded now?
Just 2 of the Xbox Drive so far.
Okay. And then you were on the Girls Room episode.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Called in just to replace the boys on the Nintendo Drive last week. Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I wore something special for the occasion. Right? I have a Bowser shirt on.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Very nice.
Got my Bowser shirt on, so
I'm a little bit of a fan.
Yeah, I have the Lego Bowser too. I mean, I love that thing. I love.
Yeah.
Oh, you have the. It looks like you have the movie Bowser as well.
Yep.
That one is so cool. The way that it uses the water vapors as the fire breath. They did a great job with that.
So, are you more of a Nintendo fan or an Xbox fan?
Well, I grew up more with Nintendo, so I guess I've been a Nintendo fan a lot longer. And
okay.
Mario, Bowser, the Mario franchise is probably my number 1 in Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. And you said that you just got an Xbox in 2019.
Yeah.
Which is 5 years ago now.
Well, let's not talk about that.
But is there a game that just you fell in love with, or what made you want to get an Xbox?
All right, so I might ruin the whole exclusive discussion here, but I did not get an Xbox for a particular game. I was talked into it by a friend of mine who told me about this neat little thing called Game Pass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely worth it.
I like games, so...
Yeah.
And he also told me about the Microsoft rewards points and how you could trade that in for Game Pass, and I was all in. So I'm doing my Bing searches every day, racking up those points so I can get Game Pass.
I've been a Game Pass subscriber probably since it started. I don't know what year that was, but I don't play the games very often, but knowing that they're there for me, I
just to look at. You do like icons. Do you know that? You just
Do
like to
icons?
look at icons.
Yeah, I do like
you
icons.
don't-
Yeah.
You don't
I
play
did.
them,
All right,
you
I
just
beat a
look at
game
them.
on Game Pass last year.
What was it?
Liza P. Fantastic
yeah.
game.
Oh,
And I play Vampire Survivors. That's what introduced me to Vampire Survivors.
That was
well,
on
that's
Game
a good
Pass?
one.
That was on Game Pass, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
then
just finished all the achievements for that. Like over
all
the
of
weekend.
oh my God.
196 achievements.
Johnny, I mean,
Uh,
you talk about Vampire Survivors
I'm
like
nowhere
almost
near that. I'm nowhere
every
near
time.
getting there.
on this show, and wow.
All right, so
you
the
got
real
some
question,
work
did
to
you
do.
get it on... So I guess you got all the achievements on Xbox, but did you get it on Switch as well? Because my research that I did was I listened to the most recent Xbox Drive podcast, and you had mentioned that you bought A Little to the Left on Switch and also and you played on Game Pass as well. And I do that all the time. I buy stuff on Switch that I already have access to on Game Pass.
Well, Little to the Left I bought before it was on Game Pass, so I'm the reason it came to Game Pass because I spent my hard-earned money. No one else has to. I actually got Vampire Survivors like when it was still in beta on Steam,
Oh, okay.
so I've quite a bit of hours over there as well.
Wow.
But as soon as it came to Game Pass, I was like, nope, this is where I'm getting all the achievements.
Cheesy.
Well,
You gotta get it. You gotta get in on it. It's $5. It's $5. It's free on phone, I think.
Here's the thing. I know that I would fully enjoy that game. I don't want to get addicted to it. I know that they're like 30-minute runs and you like lose track of time. I don't need that. I already have that with like Hades. Side Order is coming out tomorrow, and that's a roguelike. Like I'm gonna spend hours on that, as you know,
20
I
minutes on
already
that,
do.
probably.
No, I mean there's gonna be a lot of stuff to collect, and I think there's gonna be good replay value in that. But anyway, I just know that I would get addicted to it, and I don't need that. I don't know. I might.
It's
like,
very
the more
like,
that you guys talk, the more you guys talk about it, I'm like, ah.
but like, why would you deprive yourself of something that you know that you would probably enjoy because
that's
you
fair.
don't you would enjoy it too much? Like, why would that? That's a weird. That's weird logic right there.
Well, it's like there's an episode of Community where Troy and Abed. This is just for the Community people. Troy and Abed want to be roommates together. Well, Troy wants to be roommates with Abed,
Don't spoil
but Abed
it.
doesn't think it's a good idea. And then Troy is eating like this giant like birthday cookie, and he's like figuring out that by eating the giant cookie his tummy hurts, and he's like, I don't know why this would make me sick unless too much of a good thing is a bad thing.
No.
And then that's the comparison with him being roommates with Abed because they're already friends and they don't want to mess it up. Anyway, I love Community.
Side
so
note,
I'll talk about that.
I was just watching Community before we recorded because I've never seen, like, we've never watched the whole show, so we're like giving it another shot because we watched Animal Control, which is another Joel McHale show, and it. So we're like, let's give Community another shot, and
It's fun.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good so far.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about today. You gotta stop getting sidetracked. But before we do, make sure you like the YouTube video, subscribe to YouTube, leave us 5-star reviews on Spotify and Apple. We don't want to get out of February without a new review, so make sure.
Yeah, they'll kick us out. It'll kick us out of podcast land.
Is this even going to go live in February? Yeah, it will. We got 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave us a review. Follow us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all the fun stuff.
All the stuff. But also, before we get into it, Bowsah, we like to ask our guests, Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario Bros. World?
Oh, Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yes!
Without a doubt.
2024 is the year for me.
That's 3 in a row. Do you have a reason why?
I didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up, so
That would be a good reason. Yeah.
very limited experience with World.
Yeah.
Well, it's the correct answer anyway, so that's every person this year has said 3, so I think
I know. What are you doing? You're like messaging them beforehand. I'm on to you, Johnny.
Well, I guess the Bowser fight in World is really good, but I love the Bowser fight in 3.
Yeah, that one is really good.
You make him kill himself, and that is clever in my mind.
Yeah.
But we're still 3-7 right now, so this is not going well. But 2024 is the year. All right, so the reason we brought you on here is because you know more Xbox than we do, and Xbox had the big announcement I guess now 2 weeks, that they're going to be putting some of their games on other platforms. At this point, we don't know which ones they are. There are rumors, and there's only 4. But how do you feel about, I guess, any games losing exclusivity?
Well, me personally, I could not care less. Like, put the games everywhere. Let everybody play them. I find myself, I'm in a fortunate position where I do have all the boxes. I have a PS5, I got the Xbox, got the Switch, got a PC, I got everything. I can play all the games. But I'd rather play them on what my home console is. So I could play everything on my Xbox. So, hey, put everything everywhere. Let people play it where they want to. I think with the games that they have rumored, a couple of them are smaller ones. Could probably use a little more exposure, get a little more money out of them, sure. And a couple ongoing live service types of games, which, in my opinion, those should all be on every platform, just to have more people.
So will you buy them on other platforms?
No, I didn't buy them on Xbox.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But like, I know you play the Switch. I prefer playing on Switch because of the portability and playing in handheld mode. So I probably will pick up the games, especially if it is like Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves. Like I would much rather play them in handheld than on the box. But they probably won't run as well.
Right. Yeah. I'm fortunate too that we just upgraded our living room setup and now we have dual TVs like on the wall. So my husband can be watching one TV, watching whatever sports or whatever show he's into, and then I got my games up top, so I don't play my Switch in handheld hardly ever anymore.
All right, so now I have an idea for my partner and I.
Yeah, I could send you pictures.
Can we put another TV here?
Yeah, no reason. It took a while. Like I mentioned this a long time ago, and then around Thanksgiving, our main TV in the living room was starting to act up. I was like, let's go TV shopping.
Is he not a gamer?
He plays Animal Crossing.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
So he dabbles in a little bit of stuff. Yeah, it's working out. So I did have a TV like on a portable stand. So I had like a 42-inch TV that would sit in front of my seat in the living room.
Oh,
but then if people came over or whatever, I'd drag it back to the office, get it out of the way. But now I don't have to move anything.
Yeah.
Nice. I think I have enough space in the other area of my basement to put another TV in there.
And even if you don't, Johnny will make the room.
Exactly.
So I hear what you're saying, and this is something that we talked a lot about, I guess, last week, is like I want people to experience games that I also love. I think I just have the fear of those games getting into the wrong hands of people that's like, oh, this game is trash or this series is trash. And, you know, like, obviously you can't control people's feelings and how they feel about something, and it shouldn't matter, but it's like you just have this certain attachment to it and you don't want anything bad to happen to it. You don't want them to say anything bad.
You deal with me all the time. I say that all the time.
Yeah, and I deal with you too much, man. It's too
Sorry,
much.
I cut you off.
It's all right. I find that even when games don't go multi-platform, like when people speak ill of the games I love, it hurts me.
Yeah. Like I think we're already seeing that with Princess Peach Showtime. Like, it's not going to be a game for everyone. Apparently, it's super easy, but it's got a lot of charm to it. But there's going to be people there, Johnny, saying like, "Oh, this is so bad. This game is so
I would
easy."
not say. I don't say that. Unless it's Kirby. I do say that about Kirby.
Because I mean, that's the same thing. It's the same kind of game.
People act like Kirby is not for little babies, but it is.
It's just a relaxing time, man. It's just a good time. Not everything needs to be.
Is it a good time?
Life.
I don't know. But yeah, I think I had mentioned, like, it's the internet. You're always going to have people that are not very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And get over it. Splatoon's not that good.
Oh, Splatoon is very good.
Okay.
No, I guess like, yeah. Go ahead, Johnny.
No, I was so. Cheesy's big hang up is putting Nintendo games on other platforms. He wants other games, like, he's good with Hi-Fi Rush coming to the Switch, but he doesn't want Switch games coming to Xbox. Like, would you feel differently if it was like Nintendo or PlayStation?
No, I'd love to have some of these Nintendo games on better hardware. So
Yeah,
that's what I said.
That's what Johnny said. I guess for me, it's the. I was saying that if you do start to put them on other consoles, then what's the point of Nintendo's hardware? You know, it's going to lose its charm, its uniqueness, like the creativeness of what Nintendo does. It's silly, it's inventive, but if they're just putting it on all the other systems, I mean, it's got to act like all the other systems, right?
I don't think necessarily. I still don't think that's necessarily true. We've had handheld versions of games. We've had Wii versions of games when they had the like Xbox 360 versions of the same game. So I think they could do something like that. And
yeah. I just don't know like how development works in that sense of like, is that Nintendo that has to reach out to the developers and are like, or the developers have to cater around Nintendo when it comes to like motion control, let's say, for going back to the Wii, and then they have to spend, I mean, is it different resources to put it on Xbox or PlayStation? Like, I don't know. I'm asking genuinely.
Probably. But yeah. Like, how much more resources would it be? I mean, the PlayStation, like, if they do motion controls again, they have those they have the Wiimotes or like VR, whatever that is. Xbox can bring back Kinect.
They won't bring back Kinect.
Rare goes back to making Kinect sports.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot they did that.
Yeah.
How come that's not on Rare Replay?
I think I still have my Kinect in a box somewhere. Like, I think it's still.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't think it's gonna. I mean, Nintendo and PlayStation are never gonna do it. But I do. So a lot of Xbox fans seem to be upset that it's like a one-way street. So they're giving their games to other platforms, to PlayStation and Nintendo, but Nintendo and PlayStation aren't giving them any games in return. So I can kind of see how that would annoy players.
Yeah. Well, I guess so. You, Bowsah, you probably have talked a lot about this on the Xbox Drive and with the recent news of like what Phil Spencer said on the podcast. What was all the things that you guys had mentioned? Was it that you can sympathize with the people that are upset, or they just need to get over themselves, or like, where did you guys land?
Yeah, I mean, we spent some time talking about the rumors before we even knew what was happening, and people losing their mind, and Halo's going to PlayStation and Switch and all this stuff. And, you know, that's easy to dismiss those things, right? People are just making things up to be mad about, and people writing about it just to get clicks and all that fun stuff that happens on the internet. Like, I understand it's a change, but I think Phil and the team at Xbox have been saying this for a long time. They just haven't said it in so many words, right? They say
Yeah.
they want people to play where they can play. Like, yeah, okay. It's been your Xbox and your PC and your phone and your tablets on xCloud. Like, they're just opening it up a little bit more. Like,
Hmm.
they've already been saying they want to do this. I don't think it's going to be full gates wide open, everything goes, right? The business model has been for a long time, you need exclusive good games to get people to buy your box. Maybe Xbox doesn't need it as much. Like I said, there wasn't one for me. I came for Game Pass, which
Right.
that's huge value for me. So, is that the way they go? Are they realizing that these huge AAA games take so much time and money to develop that look, Halo was supposed to be a launch game. How long was it before it came out?
Hmm.
So, it's getting harder and harder to nail that down as well.
Hmm.
To have your big launch title box seller thing ready the day the box launches. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean,
too worried.
I think Halo. I do think that this is the start. Like, I don't think they're going to do 4 games and be like, okay, we're good. They're probably going to, see how well it does on other platforms, and then if it is a viable approach moving forward. I mean, we probably won't see Halo for a long time, maybe. I do think like they have a pretty strong relationship with Nintendo, and if they were to bring like Halo to other platforms, they would probably start with like the Master Chief Collection on, Switch or Switch 2.
Yeah.
I think that could work well. I think Hi-Fi Rush is if that is the game is going to sell pretty well on the Switch.
Yeah.
And Sea of Thieves, made by Rare, used to be Nintendo. So
Yeah.
I think they will be more open to working with Nintendo than they are with Sony. At first, anyway.
Yeah, that seems right. And now with the Activision deal through, they
Hmm.
talked about putting Call of Duty on Nintendo platforms.
Yeah.
So that's just going to be even more games over there.
Yeah. So I guess with their podcast, did they mention that they weren't going to be making exclusive games going forward? Was that at
No,
all brought up?
no, they just said it's just 4 games. We just want to see how these do if we take them somewhere else.
But I mean, do you think now they still will be working on like Halo and Gears
Oh yeah,
and yeah,
yeah.
Well,
I
they
mean
said that
that's who they are. There's a lot of people that are in the Xbox ecosystem because of those games.
right, yeah,
And they even made a big point to talk about they are continuing with hardware development. I know that's
hmm,
a lot of people have been concerned about that.
right,
Like, if you don't have exclusives, then why do you need hardware? Well, they already don't have exclusives, right? Everything goes to PC
uh-huh,
right away, all their first party stuff. So they could stop making Xboxes, but I don't think we're anywhere near that. Why make all of your fans mad?
yeah,
Didn't they say that there's supposed to be hardware this year, right? Didn't they say that in that podcast?
I don't remember if it was this year or not, but they definitely said that they were making new hardware. There's
yeah,
been
maybe
long
they'll
rumored like cloud devices. Of course, there's always the rumors that the pro version. I don't know what they'll call it this time around for Xbox. An
Series Z.
improved iteration. Yeah, Series Double X. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean Microsoft's like $1 trillion company or something. So their focus on for all of their stuff is to make money, and if putting their games on other platforms is going to make them money, they're going to do it. Like they're not. I'm sure they care about what the fans think, and I'm thinking a minority of the fans are the ones that are being vocal about how much they hate the decision. But personally, I would love to have games everywhere, especially for Halo. Like, I'm a big Halo fan, and that game's not in a good spot right now. Like, there's not many people playing it. It would be really good to bring in that PlayStation community. Even like Gears of War, like one was Gears of War 5 that came out back in, I don't even, before the Series X came out, I think. And if more people were exposed to those games, like Forza Horizon, like Microsoft has some really good games. And I think they get overshadowed. My biggest disappointment that I hope maybe, I don't even know if this is possible, gets a new life is Sunset Overdrive.
Ooh, yeah.
But I don't know if they can do it. I don't know who owns that.
Isn't that Insomniac?
They made it.
Right.
But I think Microsoft owns the IP. Like, can they just put the game on, like, Switch or something? Like, I don't know how. It's like It's like the licensing nightmares of like GoldenEye, or even like the the Donkey Kong games that were made by Rare. Like, it's always a pain for them to try to get to work. And when I heard how much Sunset Overdrive made, I got really sad because that's one of my favorite games ever. It has an Office Space reference in it. You can't beat that. So I hope that one, I'm hoping that one, they maybe give another shot.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like even, like Jack and Dexter could be big if they were to put it on other platforms. Sly would be good.
You're talking about PlayStation games now.
I am, yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure you weren't thinking those are Xbox games.
No. I'm just saying those. I'm just thinking of like games that definitely deserve the attention, and again, probably would be good on Nintendo. And I think that's just like we talked a lot about this. Is that I am, I guess, kind of selfish in that way, where I want some of these games to come to. I want some of these games to come to Nintendo, because they have more of a Nintendo feel. And I think that the Nintendo fan base would appreciate them more than their current audience.
Did Psychonauts 2 come out on Switch?
No, see, that's another one that I think is
that would be a good one.
Possibility. Because, I mean, we talked about the rumored games. By the time this comes out, they're probably announced. But the rumored games are Hi-Fi Rush, Grounded, Pentiment, and Sea of Thieves. And I don't really know what Pentiment is. I didn't play it, but Sea of Thieves, Grounded, and Hi-Fi Rush all feel like Nintendo games. Like, they are going to resonate with the Nintendo fan base, probably more so than the Sony fan base. And I think Psychonauts would be another one that they could do that with.
Yeah, and it was already on PlayStation, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Psychonauts 2 is on PlayStation? Or the first one?
I think 2 was.
Well, now Xbox owns that developer, right? But it's also weird that they're talking about not having exclusive games when some of their IP aren't exclusive. Like, Minecraft is technically a Microsoft IP. What is the
Ori?
Ori.
Ori. Yeah. Cuphead.
I mean, they were funded by Microsoft, right?
I think so.
So it's kind of odd that they're like making this big deal about these games that are coming, and it's not. And I guess is after they came into the Microsoft umbrella that they're putting them out there, because I can't think of it. It's like the Fallout game, but made by Obsidian. Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's on other platforms too. But I don't know if that came to other platforms before Microsoft bought Obsidian or what. Same with Deathloop. Like, Microsoft owns these properties. So it's not that surprising.
So we did get a couple of things in our community patch notes section on Discord. You can join the Discord if you would like and add any of your comments as well. Noah's Guy says, the recent outburst of exclusivity has been mind-boggling. Console wars should have died with Sega. Sure, they create brand identity and that helps with making money, but if a company wants to put a year-old or even older game on other platforms to generate money, it's just a win-win for everyone. Small few exceptions, Mario should have never run on mobile devices, not because I don't want him there, just because it was an awful game that didn't help with the brand integrity. I mean, I think I kind of disagree. I disagree with that. I think it has helped. But Jeff Troyvania says, I think that console exclusivity can be good to bolster a platform, but I agree with No Less Guy that it's a win-win for a company to put a game that's been around for a bit on other console. It especially makes sense with any of the games as a service, live service games like Sea of Thieves, since those games only get better with larger player base. My opinion with Nintendo kind of contradicts this because I think it would be super weird for any Nintendo IPs to be on other platforms.
You guys are fanboys.
I mean, I
your fanboys are showing.
Yeah,
and I know Jeff Troyvania.
PlayStation fans.
Jeff Troyvania is a huge Starfield fan. He loves Starfield. So I'm kind of surprised he's talking about not wanting Nintendo games on other platforms.
Okay, but I've been trying to figure out like what it is.
You had a day to think about it. You had a day to think about it. What?
So I did mention how like crossovers just in general have become a lot. Like we're seeing it in every medium is that there's some kind of crossover. And when you look at Fortnite, like that game is specifically made for that kind of thing. Like it's so weird to see Peter Griffin in this game, and then you also have like Lady Gaga, I think is going to be in
she's
Fortnite.
Gonna Ariana Grande is already in there,
and then you have Elsa, and you have like
Elsa's
all of
not
these
in there yet.
Not yet, but I mean it's gonna happen. But like you have all of these crossovers that are just coming together, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with having a company just stick to their world. I think that's kind of what makes it feel special and lived in. And you're not just throwing in all of these other things that feel kind of out of place. It's like you're putting a puzzle together and then you found this other piece from a different puzzle and you're trying to like put it in there because you think that it would look cool as part of the puzzle, but it just doesn't work.
I have three words.
You're an accountant, man. Figure out your numbers.
I have 3 words for you. Super Smash Brothers. Like the original crossover game.
Uh-huh.
And that's awesome.
All within the Nintendo, all within the Nintendo world.
No. Banjo.
You said original.
Steve.
Yeah.
Cloud. Snake.
Yeah.
Like, how hype are those announcement trailers?
They're very hype. Like, it is a celebration of
So
gaming,
Nintendo can do it, but nobody else can do it.
That's not what I'm saying.
Sora?
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No. I mean, like, I understand how this kind of contradicts what I'm saying. I think Smash Bros. Is kind of the exception to the rule because
it's made by Nintendo.
That's what that game is that it's a celebration of gaming and bringing in all these different
characters.
That's
what Fortnite is.
Come on.
It's a celebration. It is a celebration of like all IP. You got Star Wars in there. You got Marvel in there. Like it is just a big celebration of nerd culture.
And I think that's fine. I don't know. I'm also kind of the person that thinks that we shouldn't have a Nintendo cart. Like I know that that's kind of the direction that they were going in. But that's Smash's thing. If everything becomes a crossover, then it just doesn't becomes.
You gotta get a
special.
shirt that says "No
that's
Fun
what-
Police" on it.
No, but that's what makes Smash special, is that you do get these characters that come
But
into the game
can't
that
that
you've always
make-
wanted to see.
Doesn't that make
Well,
another
if I don't like
game
it?
special? If they
What
do
was that,
it,
Bowsah?
What if I don't like Smash?
yeah.
I don't like
And-
the fighter games, but I do like Mario Kart. I do like Fortnite. Let me have fun too.
Shoot.
I don't know. Crossovers will always be fun to me. They will always be fun to me.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Do you
Okay.
think it has anything to do with it's Nintendo's IPs that they personally created versus, say, Xbox buying up IPs and developers?
I mean,
'Cause
yeah,
Xbox has bought a lot of theirs, right?
right.
So are you okay with those going because they're not the core Xbox first party things?
I don't know. I mean, like, this conversation is so interesting because I'm learning so much about myself in these past 2 episodes. And I don't know what it is. Like, I agree that everybody should have fun. That should just be the end statement, really, is that everybody should have fun. And the comment that I made on the episode before this was like, you go to a movie theater. Well, you don't go to a movie theater that is only showing Paramount movies or Disney movies or Universal. Like, they're all under one roof and people get to enjoy them. So I don't know. I just think it's like a person who really enjoys lore. I like when lore is structured and when you have a world that feels lived in and makes sense. Like, I don't know.
Halo
And I
is all
know-
about lore, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I wasn't talking about Halo.
Fortnite has a ton of lore. There's like they change it like every season.
Yeah.
Jonesy is like a big deal
Yeah.
in Fortnite
Yeah.
lore.
Yeah.
You're just a no fun police.
I'm not. I just.
Oh, it does
Really?
feel weird for Nintendo, like, because they do weird things. Though I would say right now they're probably the least weird. At least what's happened since the Switch came out, right? Now we have this handheld gaming market that's appeared. And you got
Mhm.
your Steam Decks and now that Lenovo one with detachable controllers,
yeah.
which I want those controllers just to use on my Xbox
Mm-hmm.
because split Joy-Cons is life.
Oh,
But
why?
because I can sit with my arms out to the sides.
Oh, that's
doesn't
so
matter when
confusing. I would be so confused.
It doesn't matter when you're playing Animal Crossing. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Split Joy-Cons. Oh boy.
But go back to what you were saying. Like, they're not being as weird as usual.
Yeah, I think so. And that's kind of scary. Like, what games are on Switch that couldn't be on, say, PC? Because everybody else puts stuff on PC. Xbox
Right.
does it day one. PlayStation does it a year plus later, which they're moving up. That timeline's going to get shorter and shorter as we go forward.
Especially with Helldivers, like that success is going
Yeah.
to be like, all right, day and date.
Yep. It's going to be much closer.
That's a good point. The only game I could think of, we talked about this, was ARMS, unless you have those split Joy-Con from the... Can you use Joy-Con on a PC? I think you can.
I've never tried.
Yeah, I don't know. How would you?
Do they have Bluetooth? I think if they have Bluetooth, you can, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah, I mean, I think there was some rumblings about Nintendo maybe coming to PC, but I think that was just like speculation, and it was some weird video that the guy said something about, well, Steam supports the Pro controller, so that must mean that they're bringing it to Steam. I mean, we've seen people want games like Pokemon with Pal World on PC. People emulate Pokemon games all the time on PC. So there is an audience for Nintendo games on PC. I don't think they will ever do it until their shareholders are like, hey, you're not the richest company in the world anymore. Like if like something fails, like if one of their parks fail, or if the Zelda movie flops because it's made by the Madam Web people, like they might be like, all right, let's shift away from movies a little bit and try something else. But yeah, I like getting cheesy heated about this topic, but the fact of the matter is Nintendo is never going to do it. Sony would be more willing to, but I still don't think they would put it on Xbox. They put it on PC, but I really don't see them putting their games on Xbox either, except for MLB, but that's because they have to.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and Nintendo has historically been the family console, right?
Right.
That's where all the family-friendly games go. There might be some other places, but there's way more on Switch. So it has a different market share. Whereas I think your Xbox and your PlayStation and even your PC are fighting for the same players. Nintendo wants 5 Switches in every house.
They succeeded.
Xbox is happy with 1.
Please buy our stuff. So what if, like, Metroid, I feel is more mature. It doesn't sell well. I think that would be a good candidate to go on to other platforms.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Other than that, I don't know. I still think like the Nintendo audience is different than the PlayStation and Xbox audience.
What? That's what I've been saying.
Yeah, but like, why not give them the option? Why not give them the option?
Yeah.
Bayonetta elsewhere?
Yeah, that's one. So Bayonetta was originally on Xbox 360 and PS3. And then Nintendo made it exclusive to Wii. They made 2 exclusive to Wii U. And then 3 is exclusive to Switch. Yeah, that's another one that they could.
Demon.
Yeah. Yeah, Bayonetta, since it was already multi-platform at one point, like, why not put... I remember that being a big topic of discussion when 2 was announced for the Wii U. Being like, why is this not on other platforms that, that have the fan base? I think Xenoblade could do really well on other platforms.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, aren't there Xenoblade other things that exist?
Yeah, like Xenogears and...
Yeah.
But they do have some...
I played Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's my only experience there, and I just played it last year, so... That seems like a good one to go elsewhere.
And now that Xbox is trying to get more into the Japanese market, because they have all the Persona games on Game Pass now, I think, right?
Yeah, and new Square Enix stuff is coming.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're trying to get those JRPGs. Xenoblade could fit right into it. Octopath Traveler was a Switch exclusive, but that was made by Square, I guess, not Nintendo. Then it came to other platforms. I don't know. I would love them to put Zelda everywhere. Mario everywhere. Just everything everywhere. Imagine how many copies of Mario Kart would sell.
Oh, jeez.
Everybody would buy it again. I'd buy it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't buy it well, I guess I can buy it. There's no point for me to buy it again right now. But if it's on other platforms, that gives me an excuse. Got to keep them the richest company in Japan.
I think that I'm not against it. I think I just have a lot of self trauma of being bullied for liking Nintendo, and then if I know this is not what the conversation is about, but if it was to go to other consoles and other fan bases, I almost just feel like you don't deserve it because you don't understand it and you hurt me, and it's not fair that all of a sudden you want to play these Nintendo games that are doing really well right now when they still were very good back then, but you didn't want to give them a chance.
So you're a gatekeeper.
I don't want to be a gatekeeper.
I still get bullied for playing Nintendo games. It doesn't change.
I do too. I sometimes, honestly, I do get embarrassed saying that I play Nintendo games, and I know I shouldn't. But like, even just like watching cartoons, it depends on like the people that you're talking to. You know, if it's people that are more likely to understand that you still play Nintendo games or you like cartoons or whatever it is, like, that's a very safe space. But if you're talking to people who just don't get it, or you think are going to make fun of you, it's like, it's hard to bring up. Now, I know that's like my own personal problems, but even just saying that like I play video games sometimes, I think gaming has like this negative connotation of just like, oh, you're lazy, you don't do anything with your life. What are you doing wasting your time playing video games when you could be making money, you know? But I mean, you can make money playing video games. They just don't.
Yeah.
They don't understand the world that we live in right now.
Your hobby's no better than mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to talk about being bullied for video games? Try being a Stadia fan.
I actually bought. Wait, hold on.
It was a rough couple years.
Yeah.
Because it was like everyone who had been part of the console wars all along, they all agreed that Stadia was terrible. So let's all attack it. So
I was a founder.
Every side. Me too. I got mine sitting back here somewhere. Yep.
So what made you a fan of it?
It just sounded like a really neat idea to not have to buy the hardware.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 on launch.
Do you use Xbox
games?
Do you use cloud gaming for Xbox very often?
Yeah, sometimes. Usually when I'm away from home.
Yeah, I think it just wasn't time for it yet. I don't think people were ready yet.
Yeah. Well, and their business model, I think, gave people pause. That they wanted to sell you the games. Whereas right now on Xbox, your cloud is tied to Game Pass, right? So you don't own the games to begin with. Now that's changing because I think Phil said the other day that he wants to let you play your games you own through the cloud this year.
Yeah,
like they said they wanted to do it for a while, and I think he said they're trying to do it for this year. So that'll change. It just also how they went about it, right? Xbox put their cloud out. It's been in beta. It's still in beta. You know, so if you have a complaint about it, well, it's not fully released. You're not paying extra for it. It's just a perk of having Game Pass Ultimate. So just the whole conversation around it was different, right? We're not trying to disrupt gaming. We're just trying to make life a little more convenient for you.
Speaking of exclusives in Stadia, what happened to those exclusives? They definitely had exclusives.
Yeah, let's see. Guilt was a launch exclusive made by Tequila Works, and that just recently came to other places.
Okay.
What else was there?
Yeah, there weren't many. I remember Guilt.
Baldur's Gate 3 early access was on Stadia.
Whoa, I didn't know
from the beginning. Yeah.
Does Luna still exist? Or is it Luna? It's the Amazon one.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, it was like Stadia, but it was Amazon's version.
Right, and you like subscribe to different channels, kind of like you would for Prime Video. They had like different games grouped up.
Yeah, I could see a subscription-based model work with something like Stadia. Xbox has had that cornered, and you know, Google probably. Well, Google has enough money; they probably could have done it. But yeah, I got my Founders controller, and they refunded you the money.
Yeah, I had
Like
all kinds of credit on Google. I'm still spending it.
It was like so they shut it down like 2 years after, right? They released it.
Yeah, like 2.5, something like that.
And even after 2.5 years, they refunded you the full amount that you paid
Yep.
for what I think they refunded all your money, like anything that you spent.
Yep.
That is ridiculous. I can't see that ever happening with like
They made out of. I don't think they refunded like your Pro subscription if you did that.
okay. Yeah, I
But
think I
any
remember
purchases you made. I even got like I bought some kind of credit for Red Dead Online, and they gave me that back.
that Stadia was a weird time. That was a weird
Yeah.
time. I remember all the promises where, like, if you're watching a YouTube stream and they're playing Stadia, you could just like hop into the game with them. I don't think that ever came to fruition.
What's funny to me is they got roasted for saying that they would support 4K 60. And then games came out and were not 4K 60. And the internet, of course, lost its mind. Yet we still don't have consistent 4K 60 games on PS5 or Xbox Series. No one cries about that nearly as loud.
It was
They
just
were all bullying
yeah.
Stadia. That's
yeah,
what
just
it
a
was.
new player entering the arena.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big discussion of like, do you actually own your games? Because it was all cloud based. So it definitely got criticized. I do think we will eventually have a platform that could sustain itself doing that, but I just don't think it was time, because that was, I forget how many years ago that was. It's a while ago. But
It launched in 2019, I think.
so you got Stadia, and then you decided, hey, I want an Xbox anyway.
Yeah. Why not? I will say, of all of the three major players, Xbox seems to be the most friendly to their consumers. Like, I get it, they're a business, they're here to make money, but they make things easier for me, right? If I want to play my Xbox One game on my Series X, it just works. If I want to play my PS4 game on my PS5, I have to like read a manual how to get my save over and do a voodoo dance just to make sure, and all of these things. So
Yeah, I think one of the like big things that Xbox has been doing that I'm surprised Nintendo hasn't been doing is the way that you are able to customize pretty much anything. Like, they have themes, they have ways that you can make your own special controller that is unique to you. They have skins for your Xbox. You know, just
They're
like
called
the
wraps.
little wraps.
Yeah.
I said wraps. I got there. I got there. But like, it just surprises me how the Switch is really just, there's no personality to it. And that it just going from the like DS to Wii U to Switch, it just feels lifeless.
Well, they did it for a reason, though. The Wii U flopped, so they're like, hey, we have to go back to basics, essentially. We're just going back to, here's a machine that can play games.
Maybe, but I think that's kind of what Bowsah was talking about earlier, is that Nintendo isn't taking those creative or
They will now, though.
risky steps. You think so?
I think so. I think with the next platform, we're probably going to get a similar hybrid model, but they'll probably add more features that are more Nintendo. They'll have the TV channel back, you know, use your Switch as a remote.
I think Mii's are gone.
No, they're not.
I mean, they stick around in like some games, but they're not used as much as what they used to be. And like, yeah, you can make a
Who
Mii
wants
on
them,
Switch. I don't know. I mean, again, I feel like that was kind of the Nintendo charm.
Mii's are done. They're old news.
That's what I just said.
But
And you said no, they're not.
No, I just mean like nobody cares about Mii's anymore.
Well, yes, they don't do anything. What they should be doing is let you create your Mii and then buy an amiibo made from your Mii.
See,
See, they killed amiibo too. Like
money.
I feel like amiibo are they don't do much with amiibo anymore. They used to.
Well, and now we've reached the final amiibo for Smash 2014, where it all started, and we've got Sora, the last of the Smash amiibo.
I won't be surprised that if the next system they just don't make any amiibo anymore. Like they're just done.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to change my name. That's gonna suck.
Or just keep it. 5 years, no one will understand what it means.
I was here back in 2014. I'll be an amiibo hipster. I was here 2014. I guess what game do you think Xbox should put on other platforms to give it new life?
I don't
Part
know.
of me wants to say Halo Infinite, but just the multiplayer.
Yeah, I think that would do really well on PlayStation because a lot of people went from 360 to PS4 and never looked back, but they would play Halo.
And I don't know what their battle pass is now. I know at the beginning it wasn't good, right? And their monetization of that side. I don't know if it's improved at all since.
Yeah, I think it has. And I do think the Halo approach to the battle passes is how I want these games to approach battle passes because they never expire. Like you could buy it and then like not play for a year, but you still have that battle pass. And even you could even go back and buy old battle passes. So it's not like once that season is over, you can't buy that battle pass anymore. You could still buy it. Like I like that concept, and I hope more games do it, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I like the ones that don't expire. That's a good point. But I like things like Fortnite, where if you complete the battle pass, then you have enough money to get the next one. And they're pretty generous with leveling up in that.
They definitely want you to feel like dopamine hits. Because it's always ticking. Like you're getting points for everything.
Yep.
It feels good to play that game. Even if you suck at it, like me. I do like no build as well. No build's fun.
Oh yeah, no build's where it's at.
Cheesy's never played Fortnite. He doesn't get it.
That's not true. I have played Fortnite. I haven't played no build though.
It's like Splatoon.
Yeah, got it. Everybody's just swimming around in ink. Where did the ink come from?
I think they did have a mode at one point that was essentially Splatoon mode.
How did that work?
They just had stuff on like the ground that you could slide on. Kind of like Foam Stars, but...
So yeah, I was going to ask, why do you think Foam Stars isn't doing well? As far as I know, like...
Because it sucks.
I haven't really kept up with it. But why did... In your opinion,
because they're charging $45 for a cosmetic bundle.
Yeah, that's
per
dumb.
character.
I agree. Yeah, but gameplay wise, isn't it like Splatoon?
Not really.
Or
no.
like it's a hero shooter.
It's a hero shooter, and I don't know. It's very confusing. I guess I would probably have to play more than 2 matches, but it's very confusing. To understand what's going on or what the objective is. I don't know. That's just not it's just not a good game.
Yeah, it's another game. I wish there were a version of Splatoon that didn't have disconnects all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that's really all I need there. Like the gameplay is fine on Switch. I'm fine with that aspect, but their online is not so great.
Well, and that's something that Johnny brought up is like, it would be nice if Xbox did team up with Nintendo in that sense of like, hey, help us with our online, and Nintendo would give them something, maybe.
Smash Brothers.
Like that would be wild.
I
But
do
yeah,
think.
I mean, I guess that could work.
I do think it's interesting that each of the big three are like good at like one thing really well. Like Xbox is very consumer friendly. They have a good online infrastructure. Nintendo has that charm, and then like PlayStation has the walking simulators.
The story narrative driven games.
Sure.
Some of my favorite games.
Johnny's just a hater. He doesn't
I don't
like
like story. Yeah, I don't like story in
Yeah.
games. But I have played Helldivers. There is like no story, and that's why I like it.
So that does remind me that Death Stranding was on PC Game Pass for a while.
On Game Pass?
PC Game Pass.
Is it on Xbox? Is that game on Xbox? No?
Nope.
That's weird.
Yep. I have Xbox achievements from Death Stranding.
That's true. I did not know that. It's weird that it came to PC and not Xbox. That's so weird.
I'm sure PlayStation wouldn't allow that. Somebody else published it on PC. Maybe it was 505? I'm not sure. And since they had the PC rights, they could get it on PC Game Pass.
PlayStation annoys me. Like, they have the rights to Final Fantasy. Like, I feel bad for people that want to play Rebirth on Xbox.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Bowsah.
At least we get Final Fantasy 14. It's coming to Xbox. I think the beta starts tomorrow. Tomorrow or Thursday. I don't know what day it is.
I mean, I'm coming around. Like I see, like how people would want to play Final Fantasy, but they're not able to, and that sucks. Like I also want to play Hi-Fi Rush, and right now can't. Or depending on the recording and whenever they announce those games, maybe I can. But
you're gonna be playing it right now.
So I get it, and I guess I wonder why it's such a big deal. You would think that, like, isn't there one of their taglines? All the companies is like, the more people.
Well,
like,
PlayStation's is like play together, and Xbox was like survive together when Minecraft was everywhere.
And
then they just kind of all forgot about that. But I do think console wars kind of helps them. The companies, because you have these people that are loyal to you no matter what. And they're spreading, they're marketing for you, trying to get more people to come to, the Xbox side or the PlayStation side. So I do think the console wars benefit the companies. And honestly, they're kind of fun sometimes. If you're not toxic about it, they're kind of fun.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody wants to say the console wars shouldn't exist, and I agree, but like journalists, they totally like go into the whole console war thing because they know that's what drives clicks.
I think you just don't be toxic.
Yeah.
But like the memes, some of the memes are hilarious. Like a lot of the memes that have been coming out because of Helldivers, where the X or the PlayStation and PC players are like begging for the Xbox players to come in and save us. Like, it's it's weird. It's like one of the odd times where everybody kind of is coming together to try and play together.
Yeah.
So who knows? But we are over an hour, so don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're on the East Coast, just like me. Cheesy doesn't care about my sleep schedule, though.
You don't sleep.
But we want to thank you for coming on. And where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Bowsah13 on X, and then on Carpool Gaming, the Xbox Drive.
Cheesy, where can people find you?
All right. You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Nintendo Powercast, CheezyC64, CheezyC64.
And I'm Johnny Bo everywhere: Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Cheesy's a fanboy.